captained him. Why wouldn't I?
Vote Elite FPL!
Confident about being Jim White, aren't you?
I'll go on then.
Slow sports news.
Say vote Elite FPL.
And the Gold Award. Elite FPL.
Your team has an AI score for the next
Oh
4
yeah,
Gameweeks.
let's go, man, let's go.
Yeah, Steve-O, he's a bit mean, but he means well. And I'm not going to rise to the occasion. He can bash my team as much as he wants, but I don't care. It just makes me stronger. Makes me more keen to stay above him on the tables. And I guarantee, the end of this weekend, you're going to be looking up to me, Steve-O, thinking, what am I going to have to do? What I'm going to have to do to catch him. See you later, dude.
Cheers. Cheers, Jason. Thank you so much. There was our co-host, Jason, there, bragging.
Types of streams where they are covering all that lot. Oh yes.
Dreams of glory, points to chase, many leagues, it's the ultimate race, captains rise, some fall from grace, oh, the game we play, it's a ruthless space. Only the elite will win through the chaos, through the spin, break the template, big take within. Only the elite will win. Only the elite will win. Steve-O's fight tenacious, Jason's moves audacious. In our community, no sheep on display. Tactics whispered, strategy said. The managers plot like kings and queens. Green arrow shining, red one sting. The table shifts,
Sounds clear, my end. We've just had problems, and now sounds fine, my end, Jace. Now we got the echo. Brilliant. We've just sorted out the audio, and now it's all gone. Play the intro again.
Hello.
Yeah, we got major echo here now, Jace. Okay, let's start the intro again. Go. Keith Chegwin, go. No, we have got echo. I'm just hearing myself now. And everybody else can hear the echo. Brilliant.
No, hang on.
Wait a minute, I know why. Don't worry. This is my fault. I apologise. It's because I got the volume on. Dickhead.
There we go.
There we are. Right, back to reality. Cut that bit out. Crack on with it, Jay. Start the intro again. Let's go. Hello, everybody. Go for it, Jay.
We don't need to talk about football this weekend, apart from the fact Manchester United won. Man United won. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Matty, Leyland Edwards, FPL Sparta, PK7, Clickers, Connor, Z-Truth in the chat, Harry Dawson, Animations, Matty, who's doing very, very well, as you may find out in the chat if you read through his messages. How you doing, Matty? 180,000 he's saying in the chat. Is he really that flying that high? Jeez. Well done to you. Evening, Alex Sweet. Jason, are you happy with your wildcard? In one word, meh. I've basically got almost maybe a couple of points more than what I would have got if I'd just left my team. Like, it hasn't given me a massive boost by playing my wildcard, but more importantly, it hasn't been a disaster like I thought it could have been from last night when I was only on 19 points and I saw that Kudos and Semenyo brought the hauls through, and I was thinking, you know what? I'm going to be so down on my wild card. It's going to be really bad. But today, certainly Voltamada getting the goal helped. And Osar getting the assist as well helped. Allowed me to kind of reduce the deficit. In fact, I think with bonus points, I'm probably 1 or 2 points to the good. So I think I've got off the hook on this one, Steve-O. I think I've got off the hook because not owning Semenyo, and by the way, I fully expect him to go up to 8 million over the international break and beyond. Obviously now we're going into 2-week break, and people that haven't got Semenyo, who are those people? Yeah, those people are going to be just getting him in. I personally think that fixtures are getting a bit tougher now, and I think the hauls are going to dry up. That's my opinion. I might just be a stubborn non-owner that's going to get pie on my face, but I'm not going to get him in. I'm not going to jump on that train now. I think the points are there. They've been got. I think he's a very, very good player, but I can't justify spend. I'd have to do a -4 even if I wanted to get him in, and I'm not going to do that. 79 points from FPL Foxy in the chat. Really happy. Big green arrow. Well done. And again, if you did have the likes of Semenyo, Kudus, even Gabriel as well, getting the DEFCON points, Steve-O. These players that were the big threats to me were those what I've just read out. The likes of Semenyo, Kudus, Gabriel. But although I lost out on 30 points from Kudus and Semenyo, I was happy that Saar came through with 7 points. Nick Pope, who I brought in, by the way, got 5 more points than Sanchez, got 7 points. Unlucky not to get an extra bonus point, actually, 1 bonus point. He was just off the 1 bonus points. Voltamada coming through with 6 points. Calafiori, who also I brought in, if you remember, getting 6 points. Saka, who I also brought in, getting 8 points. The only real disappointment for my team was Virgil van Dijk, who got 1 point, which is a little bit of a a bit annoying. Didn't really do much in the game, didn't get anywhere near DEFCON points, but I'm happy to own him going forward. I think that owning him going forward is fine. I think the main talking points, Steve, from this weekend are: did you own Semenyo? Did you own Kudus? Did you get over 80 points by owning Gabriel, Kudus, Semenyo, Haaland? Well, everyone owns Haaland. Look, we'll go through the fixtures in a minute. We'll go through the results, I should say. Question for you: does the international break come at a good time? You asked me about my wildcard. Do I regret it? No, I don't, because it was my plan. My plan was to wildcard and bench boost. I'm going to wildcard and bench boost next game week. I've got a bench boost set up, ready to go. I've already pressed the button. The bench boost is activated. I'm not doing a single transfer unless, unfortunately, something happens which injures my players. I don't regret it. I've survived what could have been a disaster. But I will ask you now, Steve-O, the question. Does the international break come at a good time for you from an FPL point of view? Now you've hit the wild card. Do you think that you're going to be getting on top of some price rises that maybe others are going to miss out on? Or do you think that this is going to maybe slow your momentum down, which you're looking to build, which, let's be honest, the momentum's really, really started the season slow for you?
This season's been a piss take, to be completely frank with you. I really, really, really don't understand what the fuck I've done. Because I said to Yelena, I said to Gary, and I'm going to say it now, the plan that me and Ray had has gone exactly as we expected, with the teams that we expected to do well in the certain games have done so. But without banging the same drum, which is, well, I had injuries, but it's true. The players that I had in my team are the players that everybody wanted to bring in, but they got injured. The one I'm most bitter about, and I'm really still bitter, even though it was 5 game weeks ago now, was the Saka injury. That really derailed a lot of my season, because me and Ray, whatever, I'm not even going to mention his name because I didn't watch any of the shits, but I predicted 4 or 5-0 to Arsenal. I believe they won 5-0. Saka got a goal, but he got injured in the 52nd minute, I believe it was. And he was somebody that people were like, oh my God, I don't own Saka, I don't own Gyökeres. And I was like, well, I already own them. This is great. This is brilliant. And he goes and does his hamstring. The Palmer one, another one where people didn't own him and were really worried that they didn't own him and how to bring him in, and then they find out, oh, he's not playing. Oh, don't bring him in then. He's injured. Chris Wood, another cunt, who genuinely, I thought this could be the one. This could be the one. They got some brilliant fixtures, and then what happens? The owner of the club falls out with Nuno. It filters through the staff, if you will, and Nottingham Forest are the biggest sack of shit on the planet. Chris Wood, 1 point, barely makes 60 minutes in any fucking match. The one pissing game that I bring him in was the one where everybody's going, oh, I'm really scared that I don't even own Chris Wood. I do. I own him, and he's up against West Ham. And we all know what happened in that game. And it just keeps going on and on. Jay. Phil Foden, another fucking cunt that just does my nutting. He does really well in the Champions League. Pep Guardiola comes out and says, oh, amazing player. We're going to build the team around Phil Foden. Does really well in the Carabao Cup. We're going to build the team around Phil Foden. He's the greatest player I've ever worked with. Plays in the Premier League, 5-0 against Burnley, nothing. 1-0 against Brentford, nothing. He had 2 gilt-edged chances today. There was one especially. He should be putting in the back of the fucking net. He blazes it wide. And I'm just there going, is it me? Is it me that's the fucking idiot? Clearly, yes. But I'm clearly picking the right players from I'm clearly picking the correct teams. It's just the players that I'm not correctly picking. And it's so frustrating, Jace. It really is. And this Wildcard 8, I've planned it. You got Ray messaging me with these wildcard drafts and saying that my wildcard is shit, but he's got players which I wouldn't touch with a barge pole, Mikalenko being one of them. What the fuck do I want an Everton defender for, especially Mikalenko? I have zero interest. I look at the fixtures. I look at the fact that, fuck me, I've got a really, really, really good wildcard team moving forward this. You know what's going to happen, Jace, don't you? Arsenal are going to concede in every single fucking game. Now I've got Arsenal double defence. Chelsea, for whatever reason, will capitulate and never win a game again. Now I've brought in 3 of their players. This Krejci, who's the next Maradona, he's going to turn into a B. Jace, to be completely frank with you, I find that I don't know what, like I said, without wanting to reveal, I don't know what the fuck I've done to get wasted 65 minutes of my life watching that. I cannot believe I wasted 65 minutes of my life watching that fucking tripe. You've got Man City absolutely dominating Brentford, and they are creating nothing. And it is just painful to watch a team in such high dominance. I know this is Man City. I know they do this every bloody week. But Christ, from a fantasy football perspective, mate, it is actually depressing. And then when you put on that shite in Burnley, who I'm watching them, and the first goal that they allowed to let Tell through, it's like, Esteve, why didn't you try and... I know the reason why he didn't put the foot in, because he don't want to give away a penalty. But to be honest with you, I think he had enough in him to be able to put the tackle in. But he was shitting himself because he's so worried about what happened the week before with 2 own goals. He doesn't want to make another mistake, which of course feeds an into mine. Well, I better not tackle now because I may give away a penalty, which he wouldn't have done because he was actually overpowering Tell. Don't get me wrong. He got the shot away, puts the ball in the back of the net. I'm just like, this is just typical. And of course, every time I'm watching Burnley play, whether it's against Aston Villa today or whether it was Aston Villa back in 2016, it's the same old bollocks, Jace. It's, I just want Foster to pass to Anthony. He can't even do that. He seems to somehow misplace the fucking ball and pass it on to whatever centre-back is playing for Aston Villa in Konza or Torres. It's embarrassing. It's actually fucking embarrassing. We got a goal back from... I don't even know how the fuck they couldn't mark a 6'6" giant in Ugachukwu when he got that free header. I genuinely don't understand how Aston Villa conceded, because that defending was embarrassing. He was basically just free, completely free. Obviously, we lost 2-1. And I think what really kicked me in the bollocks was when you hear, oh, Everton have been given a penalty. And then you hear Mark Goldbridge say, and Dye's got the ball in his hand. I'm just like, brilliant. A template player has got a penalty. And it, like I said, Chase, when you're down, you're down. But fuck me, this game, mate. I mean, even Voltemada, when they said, oh, they've got a penalty. And I'm thinking, oh, Anthony Gordon, brilliant. Excellent. Anthony Gordon. Oh, it's going to be Voltemada. Oh, is Anthony Gordon not taking penalties now?
No, he was off the pitch, I think, at that point.
Oh, it was actually off the pitch.
Yeah, he got subbed off Harvey Barnes.
Fair enough. That's fine. Okay, thank you for correcting me on that. That's cool. But yeah, week after week after week, Jace, it's just red arrow after red arrow after red arrow, and I don't know what to do anymore. So, like I said, I've hit the wild thing.
Let's pick this apart, because obviously you can tell by that that was a rant, and that's really good because it means you're getting out your system. But can you, like, you have been unlucky with injury. I can go through your game week history, and I can see you've been unlucky with injury, and I've seen you've had to take transfers, you've had to do minus hits and things like that. But do you own up to the fact that despite doing a minus 12 in game week 3, that you didn't include getting rid of Chris Wood at the early signs of things crumbling apart at Nottingham Forest? Do you think you maybe stubbornly held on to him for a bit too long, three game weeks more than what you probably should have done?
Of course, but I wanted to save my transfers. I didn't need to get rid of Chris Wood. You know, you look at their fixtures at the time, if I can bring up the fixture tracker, which is directly in front of me right this second. Of course, it doesn't go back to game week 1. You fucking whine. Here we are, right. Game week 1, okay, Nottingham Forest. Where are we here? So West Ham United at home. You cannot look past these fixtures, Jace. West Ham United at home, at the time, excellent fixture. Arsenal away, whatever. Burnley away, excellent fixture. Sunderland at home, you can argue, good fixture. And for him to get what I think it was one or 2 points against West Ham, Arsenal 1 point, Burnley 1 point, I think it was, and Sunderland, I can't remember. It's just shocking, mate.
Okay, so you started the season and Strand Larsen, all of which obviously got injured. You also then had what I would consider what I consider to be another one of your thorns in your heel, which was Johnson, Brennan Johnson for
well, he's another
for
one,
Tottenham,
James,
who looked at certain points to be on fire and very lively.
He has a shit game against. Who the fuck was it? I can't remember who it was. Remind me, what fixtures did they have?
You may be referring to
Bournemouth. It was Bournemouth. He apparently played really poorly in that. It was hooked off in the 50-odd minutes.
On game week 2, was it?
Game week 3.
Game week 3. Okay, but they lost to Bournemouth, really
early.
Yeah.
And it's just like, and then since then he never played.
Game week 3, he had 53 minutes. Yeah. Okay, so really, then your selection headache with the injury. Obviously, then you had Johnson and Wood in your team. Who Johnson became a bit of a dead weight, and then Wood, of course, just became a subject of a failing Nottingham Forest, which seemed to reverberate throughout the whole team. Really, you did do -12s. You did do aggressive transfers. You brought in. I'm seeing what you brought in, obviously over the course of your season so far. So you brought in Van de Ven for Aït-Nouri, which is fair enough. He's picked up some points for you. You took out Saka for Johnson, obviously early on because Saka got the injury. That did not work out for you. Bringing Salah in for Palmer didn't really do much, Kossi Palmer, but then Salah, heavily owned at the time, kind of had to for safety reasons. I see why you did that. You had Chris Wood come in for Pirro. I didn't realise you actually did that move. And then you did an enabler, which was Mark Geef and Strand Larsen, involving Averts to Semenyo, Cucurella to Mings in game week 5. So the moves do seem. Did you need to take out the players at the time that you took out? Did you have to take Verts out? I know Verts wasn't doing anything in game week 5, but was that part? Was that
you haven't done anything? Full stop.
No, but then, yeah, I mean, Semenyo's. You've picked up the Semenyo points, so absolutely well worth doing that. Foden, of course, is the one, isn't it? Foden, bringing him in, for those 2 weeks, just after what comments, like you said, the comments from Pep Guardiola, and to be fair, it was looking like he was gonna get back to his best at one point, but I just don't know what's happened there with Foden. And to be fair, if it wasn't for Haaland, City don't seem to be that clinical at the moment. And I think if you took the Haaland out of the picture, God forbid he gets injured, I think City would struggle for goals.
Yeah.
Like, gone are the days where you had like Bernardo Silva, Mahrez, Kevin De Bruyne, who's the other one? Gundogan, they're all pepper. You remember when it used to be City of old that goals would come from midfield? And like, you wouldn't know which 4 goal scorers you're going to get on the goal, on the list any given game week, because they had goals in all areas. Now, I think Haaland, if they lost Haaland, oh my God, I think they're in major problems, because they don't seem to be doing, they don't seem to be very clinical in midfield in terms of producing goals at the moment. But so in a nutshell, then you're annoyed, but you have a wild card. You've activated your wild card. Have you got enough information after waiting 7 game weeks, going into 8 now, game week 8, as we look towards game week 8? Have you got enough information, especially over this weekend, that makes you feel confident? Because one of the things that I did with my wild card last week was I was umming and ahhing, and I was second guessing myself all the time. Do you think you're going to be doing the same, or do you think, no, I know a clear plan and I'm not going to deviate from it? I'm not going to ask anyone's opinion. I'm doing what I'm going to do.
It's not about opinions, is it? It's that's the problem. In fact, I think that's one of the major problems with FPL and the way people play this game, is that there's just too much opinion. One person will be batting for one particular player, and someone with the same level of experience and knowledge about football will be batting for another player. And people just get so brainwashed with so many different options. Whereas in my case, like I state, there was nothing wrong with the players there was nothing wrong with the teams with which the players I brought in from. They were just the ones that didn't perform. They get injured. So I'm hoping that with this wild card, they don't get injured, Jace. So as it stands right this second, as we speak, the idea, so what I'm doing with the price changes is I'm deliberately looking at the markets, and any player in my current team who is going to drop in price, I'm bringing in obviously the player that I want to be having in on the wild card. Any player that's obviously rising in price, I'm going to be keeping on the wild card / bringing in. So as it stands right this second, it's Rofs and Dubravka. There'll be a rotating pairing. Well, I say rotating. Ross will probably play majority of the matches for the next, up to game week 10, I think it is, something like that. I can't remember now, something like that. And the game week 11. I'm going to go with the double Arsenal defence. Ray said that that's probably your best bet, double Arsenal defence. I really want a Chelsea defender, and I'm going to go with Chalobah. His price has went down the other night to 5.1, and he may even go down again to 5 million. So that's even more money saving now. I haven't even brought him in yet. There's savings there. Semenyo I've just left in the team, but I agree with you. I am along the same lines as Trigger, where he said on the lock-in last night that the reason why he doesn't own Semenyo is because of the fixtures, and they're not great. They're not good at all, and I do agree with that. So Semenyo's probably going to leave my team, but right now he's there. Anthony Gordon, it's bordering on a lock for me. I really do like Anthony Gordon and Newcastle, I think, from an attacking perspective. However, I could be swayed to get rid of him. Saka, whatever, we don't need to talk about him. Haaland, João Pedro. João Pedro is another one. I haven't officially brought him in the team because he's going to go down in price again. He may even go down in price twice across the international break, which would be absolutely hilarious. And then that would mean I could bring him in for his excellent fixture run. But it's what I like about this team is double West Ham. West Ham's fixtures.
Have you got a draft picture that you want to share with us, or you just want to?
The fixtures for West Ham are absolutely stunning.
You're getting Bowen, are you?
Yeah.
Okay,
Those
so
fixtures...
Chucky in the chat says Steve better not be copying me with Saka, Bowen, and Timber on my team.
No, tough shit I am. So his fixtures, or West Ham's fixtures, and now he can just get his claws into them. Brentford at home, great fixture. Leeds away, it's not perfect, but Newcastle at home, good. Owen captaincy written all over it, that one there. Those 4 fixtures, if I can capitalise with Paquetá and Bowen, Paquetá at 5.9, it's a beautiful price. It's a beautiful price. And these 4 fixtures here for Nuno should be...
You're getting Diaz as well. Oh, Diouf as well.
No, I can't afford him. And it's just the fact that it would mean sacrificing Chalobah, if I'm honest with you.
What's West Ham's fixtures, mate? Have you got them to hand, or?
I've literally just told you the fixtures, James.
No, I think you broke up on that bit, mate.
Yeah, so it's Brentford, Leeds, Newcastle, Burnley. Those next 4 are gold.
Yeah.
They're gold dust. And Nuno will be targeting those fixtures. he would want to get a minimum of 7 points in the next 4 fixtures. Minimum. And I want to be playing the likes of the double Arsenal defence and Chalobah. Now, Chalobah could potentially become Juve, but I'm really boyish on Chelsea, Jace. I'm really, really boyish on Chelsea. Now they're fixed.
In particular, who from Chelsea are you bullish on?
I'd love to get Palmer, but you can't really.
You don't know if he's going to be. So. He's not going to be thrown in for 90 minutes, I don't think, mate. Straight away.
No. So Pedro is a lock, and then it's a defender, in this case Chalobah, and I'm probably looking at Enzo or Casado, one of the two, but probably Enzo because of the fact he'll be on penalties. Again, those fixtures: Nottingham Forest, Sunderland, Tottenham, Wolves, Burnley. Come on. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. I mean, I've got Enzo Fernandez. I don't know if you know in my team.
No, I know you do, yeah.
So, you know, I could look at getting in maybe another Chelsea, but to be honest with you, that would be a luxury move because that's assuming that I don't have any injuries over the international break to deal with. But, you know, the wildcard then, it sounds like you've got the crux of your team already planned out, and that unless something major happens in your mind, your team's going to be heavily Chelsea, West Ham, Arsenal dominated.
Yeah.
Thoughts on Crystal Palace?
Well, obviously they lost today, and their fixture run.
They dominated today, though, mate. They lost. It was one of those games that he lost, but they didn't. The scoreline didn't paint the picture. They had so many chances to finish that game off, certainly in the first half, but they just let's be honest. Everton just sucker punched them at the end, and the goal by Grealish. I mean, if you see the goal, I don't know if you've seen it. It literally is Grealish coming in to try and close down and block a clearance from a defender. He goes in to block the clearance. The defender kicks it against Grealish and it goes in. It's like the most freakish goal. It wasn't an intentional shot. It was like a block. But the point being is, I still remain happy that I got Sarr in my team.
Yeah,
I like Sarr. He might be someone you might look at on your wild card. Be honest with you.
Yeah, he would be the Gordon replacement.
I like Gordon though. I do like, you know, there's so many great options around the 6 to 7.5 sort of mark in midfield, isn't there, Steve-O?
No, and this is the instance. It's like you state, there are a lot of options in that 6 million bracket, and I just don't really like the Crystal Palace fixtures. I don't really like them that much. But again, Sarr could come in for Reinders because Man City's fixtures change for the worse as well. Having Haaland is it's like you said, having Haaland. If they don't have Haaland, who the fuck scores for them? Reinders today wasn't exactly.
He had that one chance. Was it a volley? I heard on the TV, and you know, I think that Reinders for 5.5 whenever you got him in. I mean, that value. He's playing every game week for Man City in a fairly attacking role in midfield. I think that even if you just throw him on your bench, you can still have a very top team around him and just play him on good fixtures. I don't know. I think Reinders is got to be for me, unless you can make a great argument against keeping him, just he's cheap enough.
This is the point. This is why keeping certain players and it would be mad to sack them off. Like, do I really need? Could I have Sarr instead of Paquetá, for instance?
I would.
Just simple things like this.
Yeah.
You know, it's just wherever he's gone. Where is he? Here we are. Sarr. Can I have people like him?
I see. I don't trust West Ham. I know you're coming through this whole I love West Ham's fixtures and all that jazz, but I just don't know if I trust West Ham to have triple. I could see them maybe having a defender and an attacker, maybe not a triple, but that's me. I respect people that want to jump on West Ham, but I mean, Bowen's a good pick. Bowen's a real. I think Bowen's a live wire, but
I think it's Paquetá's on penalties.
Yeah. But again, the midfield slots, you've got 5 midfield slots that I would argue you've got 8 or 9 real good, cheap options for midfield, and you've only got 5 slots to fill them in. So, it's one of those where you got to decide if Reinders, hang on. Like, for example, for the case of Reinders, because I see my internet's coming in and out again. For the case of Reinders, you've got to just make a case of how often do you think you're going to be playing him? And would that money be better off thrown into a 4.5 in King and then just upgrading somewhere else in midfield? That's the thing. It's like, if you've got Reinders, are you happy to bench him week in, like on a given game week, to play a defender or play an attacker, or are you looking to play him every week? That's the question you got to ask yourself. If you're looking to play him every week, then that answers the question. But if you're not, then you could look at squeezing value and maybe looking at alternative options, like we just discussed.
No, that's the thing. I'm wanting to play a 3-4-3 with that front three of Bowen, Haaland, and João Pedro. I was even contemplating looking at getting rid of Haaland, but that's just ridiculous.
No, that would be the ultimate. That would be the ultimate self-sabotage, I think, at this moment.
Of course, yeah. And that's what I mean with
and
Bowen,
not only that, but what if you got rid of Haaland? You'd have too much money that you wouldn't be able to spend it all, because there's not that many premiums in the game at the moment that would use your budget up. Like, I'm not being funny, but with Salah being off form, and if Haaland was out of your team, where are you going to throw that money around? Bruno? Yes, Saka, Gyökeres. I mean, it's suddenly you'd end up having like 4 or 5 million on the bench. Excess,
That's the thing. This game seems to be a lot around the point scoring, around the DEFCON. I say it's around it. It's not really, is it? It's just the odd player. Like Lacroix today, 3 points because he got DEFCON. It's good to have a player that's getting regular DEFCON points. I'm not going to deny it, but I just still think that clean sheets and attacking returns, you're still looking at that more than, say, would you rather have Enzo or Caicedo? Well, I'd rather have Enzo, even though Caicedo is bordering on minimum of 4 points per match. That's the difficulty of it so far. But I don't know, mate. We're going around in circles.
Yeah, we're going around in circles. Like let's just recap what happened on the weekend, and just give your thoughts on the games. Of course, we had. To start with, Bournemouth beating Fulham 3-1, with Semenyo getting their goal and an assist. So the Bournemouth result, with Semenyo getting a goal, 2 goals and an assist. What were you thinking when that came through?
So I wasn't aware of what actually happened until literally the. And I was just like, what? 3-1? Now, weirdly, Live Score didn't have Semenyo as the goal scorer, so I just assumed that Semenyo had scored and got an assist. And then obviously on FPL, it was, he's got 2 goals. All right, okay. It doesn't bother me, Jace, because a lot of people own Semenyo. So I was just like, all right, okay. The game meant nothing to me personally. It really meant absolutely nothing to me. So, like I said, this game, this year, it's a struggle to find those differentials, hence why me relying on the likes of Foden needed to come through with an attacking return today, fails miserably, and it's just, all right, okay.
And Chris Wood, things like that, where you think the one time Chris Wood could go off on one, you could own him and it'd be a massive differential, and then lo and behold, just a pile of shit again. Okay, yeah, so the result: Bournemouth 3, Fulham 1. I think we said 2-1, didn't we, on that one?
Something I can't even remember. To be
Yeah,
honest
so
with you.
it's a
2-0,
fairly predictable for Bournemouth. We move on to Saturday's games. Leeds losing to Spurs 2-1. Spurs, people have jumped off Spurs. Do you think Kudus? For me, I jumped off Kudus in a wild card, but I was torn on Kudus because he's cheap, and I like him as a player. I think he's a very good dribbler. He reminds me a little bit like Doku in ways, but he's got a bit more of a shot on him and a bit more of a better end product in terms of shot on for goal. Do you think Tottenham, people are right to just be avoiding Tottenham attackers in general? Because of course you can't really rely on Richarlison. But do you think Kudus is a good prospect, and have you considered him on your wildcard?
No, because the fixtures are terrible.
It's because of the fixtures. That's why people are just avoiding them, right?
Well, it was
Just avoid.
which are worth looking at, but to bring in with their fixtures, I daren't go on the page, Jace, because it seems to be corrupting everything at the moment. So
Yeah.
I've got nothing in front of me to give me any information, but certainly for Tottenham, he's the most creative player in that team. Anytime I watch Tottenham, Xavi Simons has got a bit of spark about. For me, he just seems to be utterly useless on the left-hand side. But he came through with a goal and assist. It seems to be a bit, 1 week he returns, couple of weeks he blanks, then 1 week he returns. I think he's just a season keeper, if I'm honest with you, Jace. If you got him, you got him. Then bring him in when the fixtures turn for the good.
Arsenal beating West Ham 2-0.
Yeah.
Gyökeres blanking again. Do you think that people that poured in on Gyökeres and maybe just didn't go the extra and bring in Saka, they're going to be feeling? Are they going to be feeling? You're one of them. Are you feeling like you've made a mistake with that pick, or do you think that Gyökeres is still he's got much more to improve? Like he's got goals in him which you think you can take advantage of. Here you go. Answer me in the wildcard. Is Gyökeres on your wildcard plans?
No, because I'm doing double Arsenal defence. Gabriel and Timber.
So you're going to double Arsenal defence and Saka, not Gyökeres, yeah.
Yeah. Ray thinks that's the best way as well. And
so you
again,
don't trust
that's another player.
So he doesn't
bringing
trust
Gyökeres, like a lot of other people like yourself, others on wildcard, maybe if people did free hit, but Gyökeres was basically bring him in for this game. He missed, I think there was a couple of opportunities where he could have got an assist, maybe got a goal, but he's just missing these, from what I gather, these basic chances. And it's just, is it the Steve-O factor coming into play again? I don't know, but I'm certainly not interested in having him in my team, unfortunately. I think if he had scored yesterday, I think my mind may have changed a bit, but Arsenal, from a defensive perspective, are just freaks of nature at the end of the day. It's a cheat code, to be honest with you. They've got their back four settled in Calafiore, Timber, Saliba and Gabriel, and even if one of them is injured, they've got adequate backup to cover those positions. So, yeah, I think Arsenal double up in defence is probably the way forward. But like I say, now I've done that, they're going to concede in every single match, and Gyökeres is going to get 2 goals a game. So.
Yeah. We move towards the next game. That's Man United versus Sunderland. Manchester United getting goals from Mason Mount early on in the game with a real decent effort. It was a decent effort, very nice goal. Good touch and good finish from Mason Mount. And Benjamin Sesko getting a goal as well. Since I got rid of him, he's scoring goals. Isn't that funny, Steve-O? I would argue that Sesko is showing more about him at the moment for 2 million less to have in your FPL team. I don't know than over Gyökeres. I don't know, maybe we'll wind up a few people there by saying that. Yeah, Man United, are they back? No. So Sunderland had a poor game. but it was nice to see Lemens in goal, pulling off a very consistent, solid performance where, you know, you don't see a mistake in him at the moment, touch wood.
Yeah, Cy Powell on his podcast said that he thinks that he looks like a really solid defender that can breed confidence in the defence. A bit like what Trafford did for Burnley last season. If you know you've got a good goalkeeper behind you, you're not too concerned that if you make a mistake.
If you're a world-class centre-back, or if you're a centre-back and you've got a goalie that's shaky at the behind you, you're more worried about what you do because you know that if he gets exposed, you're conceding a goal. Whereas exactly what you're saying, if you've got a goalie that's no nonsense, claims balls from crosses. I mean, Old Trafford erupted with applause when Lemens plucked a cross out of the air, because we've been used to goalkeepers flapping around, misjudging crosses, getting knocked over, you know, and being weak for so long now that just having that air of calmness, I think, could work wonders in that team. Still way early, and it's only Sunderland, but Sunderland have been playing well.
Is Mason Mount the answer?
I think Mason Mount. If we can get Mason Mount fit and out away from the injury table, I've always liked Mason Mount, especially when he was at Chelsea. We know he's got the ability to do great things. It's just whether or not he can stay fit. He's still young enough. It's whether he can stay fit enough. That's the problem. Every time you play Mason Mount, at the back of your head, you're thinking anything. You know, he could get injured at any time. I hope not. For his career's sake, I hope not, because I like to see what he can do at United. But is he the answer? I mean, Cunha was benched. I think Bruno still playing centre mid is going to be the downfall of Amorim. I really do. I don't think that this is going to gloss. This is a slight gloss over the fact that Amorim is playing Bruno in the wrong position, and we are against.
What is this stubbornness not to play Mainu and play Bruno Fernandes there, and then when Bruno Fernandes goes in his favourite position, he looks really good? Is it just you're trying to fit too many players into his team? A bit like FPL, we're trying to fit too many players in. What is this?
I don't know. It's because Amorim wants to play 5 at the back. He should be playing a 4-2-3-1 formation. Simple as. 4 at the back. You should be playing like the likes of Ugarte or Mainu. In front of them, Bruno Fernandes in the 10, with Cunha on the left, or Mount on the left, and then Mbeumo on the right hand side with Sesko up front. 4-2-3-1. Simple as. And I think loads of people can see that Bruno Fernandes is not a natural centre midfielder. He can't dictate the game in the way he wants to in that position. He's not very good at defending. He really is not good. He's good at running around. He's good at covering ground, but he's not very good at defending. He's really good at losing his markers. He's really good at letting runners go into the penalty area unmarked that get on the end of goals. The problem with Bruno is he will not take responsibility for his own mistakes. He called out Lenioro a few weeks ago, and Lenioro got benched as a result. Bruno FC needs to end. It needs to be there needs to be serious changes in terms of where Bruno plays. Otherwise, we're gonna get battered. A team that's going to pass us around the park, like majority of the teams in the Premier League, will outplay us in midfield if we have Bruno in midfield. And like I said, if he's running around, he's sometimes playing on the left hand side, on the right hand side. You know, he's occupying spaces that other players. He's getting petulant at times. You know, obviously we won against Sunderland, but again, I don't see the problems going away. I really don't. So for me, avoid Man United like the plague. It was encouraging to see Sesko getting a goal, and it was encouraging to see Mason Mount getting a goal, but I'm not going to fall into the trap of just jumping straight back on United, or like I was almost going to on a wild card with Bruno in, because, you know, I was thinking, got some good fixtures. Obviously, Liverpool is not an easy game, but we've got some decent fixtures, and I think Bruno is, going to still be on penalties despite his miss. But yeah, he's a bit of. I think everyone, even non-Man United fans in the chat, know Bruno is a problem at United. We should have sold him. We didn't. now we're just having to move on with him. Is Bruno's biggest issue is his attitude and the effect he has on his team. Absolutely. I mean, if you have a captain in your team and he's just moaning and screaming and blaming everyone else but himself and moaning at the referee every 5 minutes, how is that going to impact you as a player? How are you going to perform if all you're hearing is moaning? And like, Bruno is like no angel. The amount of misplaced passes and like men that he let run, he lets his man go, or he doesn't pick up runners and things like that. No one ever criticizes Bruno. No one. But as soon as someone does something that's not quite right in Bruno's head, he goes off on one. He's moaning, he's bitching, he's crying, he's going to the referee. Like, it's just embarrassing. We move on. Chelsea beat Liverpool 2-1, Steve-O. Are Liverpool washed?
They're not washed, but they're difficult to watch. Very frustrating. Gakpo is, in my opinion, their standout player on that left-hand side. I think if him and Isaac can link up, I think there's a very good partnership there. Wirtz, when he came on, again, like Dewsbury Hall, like Foden, they're incredible players, but from an FPL perspective, fucking useless. And there was a moment, this infuriated me, where Wirtz, pretty much the first touch of the game, ball comes over, beautiful back heel to Salah. Last season, Salah puts that in the back of the net. This season, he misses. There was another opportunity as well that Salah had, puts it over the bar. And there was a moment where he put an absolute fantastic cross into Isaac. Again, Isaac of last season buries that. It could have been. Is
it the nerves? Do you think nerves have got into Liverpool's team?
I've been told
the pressure.
By a Liverpool fan at work that it seems to me that what Slot seems to be doing is that he's trying to figure out how the game's going in the first half, and then he gets into the half time, whatever the score is, and then he's then found out, right, this is how, in this case, Chelsea are playing. Right then, this is what we're going to do. Bang, they come out, and they look fantastic, Liverpool, in the second half, and then the gas came off. Look, I'm no football tactician or anything like this. I don't know what the hell's going on there, but what I do know is that the front four are just not clicking at all. And Gakpo is the only one that looks like he's putting in any form of effort. Isaac, phenomenal player. You can see the talent in him, but I just don't see where there are him.
There are cases where teams try too hard and they don't do the basics and they try to force the issue. Do you think Liverpool are trying to force the issue in the second half, particularly, like you're saying about Slot trying to sum up and analyze the game and trying to meticulously pick apart opposition? Do you think that Liverpool are just not playing the basic things that they were doing last season, and maybe they're trying to force the issue too much this season, coupled with the fact that players are just out of form, i.e. Salah?
I reiterate, look, I just watch football for what it is. I don't know the understanding of the tactics or anything. I just see for what it is. And what I saw was Gakpo, the only player that's wanting to move forward and actually attack the goal. You've got a bloke in Salah who, for whatever reason, is just not playing to the standards of what he was, or something's going on there where he's not performing as he was last season. Isaac was dropping quite, not, I wouldn't say deep, but he was almost taking up Gakpo's position. It was almost like, just get the fuck out of my way. You piss off over in the centre. I will do the left-hand side work for you. I need you in the middle here because there's no one there at the moment. And
Wirtz was good when he came on. He did that, like you said, that amazing like back heel, pirouette back heel to play in Salah. You know, and like you said, last season Salah would have put that away, but it just seems that things aren't, like you said, like the finishing product just doesn't seem to be there in a lot of cases for Liverpool.
Problems in defence as well. Kirk has been substituted off early. There are problems. I mean, even my mate said at work that Frimpong has been brought in to replace Salah. And what he meant by that is that specifically in the AFCON, he's going to be playing in Salah's role. So that's something to maybe look at, to be bringing in Frimpong for then. But he wants Frimpong playing, but he's not. And look, it's all been a bit hyperbolic. They lost against Crystal Palace, they lose in the Champions League, and they lose against Chelsea. What have all three of them got in common? They're all excellent teams. Now, yes, you can argue that Liverpool should be beating these types of teams if they want to show that they're challenging, but I don't think there's a panic just yet. I think, ironically, this is almost the perfect time for an international break for Slot to get into his team and kind of like rejig. And the fact they got Man United at home next is bordering on the perfect opposition.
Yeah, Man United at home for Liverpool next is it. Like I worry about that. I think that Liverpool could just take out their frustrations on United.
Hopefully.
Because we, like I said, the reasons I say we're playing a formation that the players just don't know how to play. Okay, Liverpool. If you've got Liverpool players, hold on to them. I guess if you haven't, then don't look at getting them in.
I wasn't that particularly impressed by Pedro. He does work hard, but I don't think he had a shot in the game.
Yeah, he was not featured on anywhere near the bonus points. Again, Pedro. I think. Yeah,
again, fixtures breed form.
Fixtures are there for him, aren't they? But yeah, Liverpool. Like if you own Salah, you might look at freeing him up, of course, to bring in more players on a wildcard. Certainly, I would be getting rid of Salah, but spending hits, taking Salah out before Man United at home, you're asking for problems there, my friends. But like I own Virgil van Dijk, and I think I'm going to be holding him for that game as well. We got Aston Villa today, 2:00 against Burnley. Your beloved Burnley, who just can't get results.
Well, they were going to lose. But
well, you say that, but Villa haven't been able to score for so long, and all of a sudden, Donyell Marlin.
Hold on here. Good fixtures. What have they done? They've won their good fixtures. Like I said, fixtures breed form.
Well, no form for Ollie Watkins.
Okay.
Maybe, yeah. But yes, I get what you're saying. Saying. Burnley
Watkins was quite quiet, to be fair, today.
Are Burnley relegated?
Yeah, I'm still saying Burnley and Sunderland are probably going to go, along with, well, one of the likes of Wolves, for instance. But Burnley are definitely going. Okay,
so is there anyone on your wild card for Aston Villa that's maybe on the?
No, their fixtures are crap.
Okay, cool. Okay, so nothing really to report on this then, other than the fact that Burnley is shit and Villa just played.
We just didn't turn up. The problem with what Scott Parker's doing is he's setting up so defensively in this 5-4-1 formation. Foster just isn't good enough. He's not a striker. He's like I don't know what the fuck he is. He's just a bloke that runs around.
Like a Traore.
Yeah, but slower. And then you got the likes of Anthony, and I don't even know how to pronounce his name. This black guy with dreadlocks.
Ogachukwu.
No, not him. It's another one, Charari or something. And again,
who?
They run exactly. They run. It's great to run, but they can't pass a ball between them, Jace. The only quality we've got is Kyle Walker, and you can just see that he's making the perfect quarterback-style passes, but there's no one there to latch onto it. And it's extremely frustrating where it takes till the 60th minute, 70th minute for Scott Parker to start making some aggressive changes. And when you're looking at a bloke that looks dead-eyed in Brozier, who looks like he could not give a fuck about being there, and you spent 32 million on that cunt, Jesus Christ, Jace. This is morbid. This is grim. And there was a moment where the ball came over, he chested it down, beautiful control. All he had to do was just get the shot away on target minimum, and he miskicks it. He just does an air shot, and you're like, that just sums up everything. That just summed up everything about our afternoon, to be honest.
You're on about Loam Chouna on the right hand side for you guys. Yeah, yeah. So avoid Burnley then.
Oh yeah.
I mean, if you got Dubravka, of course, it's fine.
Who's just value. Brilliant
Esteve.
saves. He made some great
How did
saves.
Esteve play in that game? Did you?
Useless.
Yeah. Okay. Then we move forward. Let's talk about other fixtures because we're going to move on to. We're going past 9 o'clock now. Everton versus Crystal Palace. Here we go. Everton, who just seem to be just at home dominating at their ground. Crystal Palace coming close to winning that, and then Everton just picking their pockets towards the end of the game. I felt that the scoreline flattered Everton. I don't think they did it. The majority of the game, Crystal Palace were cruising. Maybe they just didn't finish their chances, and Everton just got in at the end and hit them with a sucker punch. I think that's a fair assessment. Do you think that people that own Crystal Palace assets should be worried in any shape or form? I think it's a hold for me.
No, I don't think so. I still think from a defensive solidity point of view, like you say, a penalty for crying out loud. You know, it looked like it was heading for a draw, and then they give away a penalty. You know, these things stupidly happen. But I certainly think if you own Crystal Palace assets, stick with them. Other than if you own Mateta, who seems to be one of these players that just seems to be a 1 in 6 goal scorer. To be honest with you, or more specifically, seems to only turn up in the second half of the season.
Yeah, he had a couple of chances earlier in the game, and it looked like he just made the wrong decision at the the critical moment. Certainly, Sarr played him in on one occasion, and he blazed it wide. But certainly, Crystal Palace, I still think they're going to be top half table easily top half table. Newcastle, Nottingham Forest. Newcastle winning 2-0. Bruno Guimaraes and Voltemade getting on the goals. Burn and Bruno Guimaraes getting the assists. Let's just talk about this then, because I watched the game. I own Gordon and I own Voltemade and I own Pope. Very happy with Pope. I think he's a solid goalkeeper. And he's gonna rack up save points. He's gonna rack up bonus points. You know, throughout the season, clean sheet points. I think that Voltemade, I like the guy. I like the guy a lot. I think he's a sort of striker. And if there's any Newcastle fans in the chat, I would love to know your opinion here on Voltemade, because for me, looking at him, he's got great hold up play. He's good with his feet. He's fairly quick, and he takes a penalty. He takes a cool penalty, calm, cool penalty. I was a little bit worried about his run up. Like he was like a staggered run up, and then he kind of slowly went for it and then smacked it in the top corner. It was a beautiful penalty, by the way. But Voltemade looks really good. Like, might be too quick to kind of jump on the conclusion that he is a bargain at 7.1. Okay, he scored today, but it was from a penalty. It wasn't from open play. But I think that it's a strong consideration for people. I think certainly on the wild card, I know he went up in price. When it comes to Gordon, a little bit worried about minutes between him and Harvey Barnes. I think Eddie Howe does favour Gordon slightly at the 2, but I do think we're going to start to see, playing 60 minutes coming off for 30. For the other player to play 30 minutes, we're going to start to see that, and certainly with the European football as well. Do worry about Gordon's minutes, and it's something for you to consider on your wild card as well. Whether or not you think he's going to get the enough minutes to justify having him in. Voltemade. Yeah, if you own Voltemade, you will enjoy watching him play. Yeah, but again, it's like if it wasn't for that penalty, he would have got 2 points today. Even though he put in a good performance, they weren't picking him out that much in the box. In fact, the balls were going more to Joe Linton. I thought Joe Linton was way more involved in the box. From an attacking point of view, but it's one game. He got a goal. I'm happy with that. A little bit annoyed that Gordon didn't get anything, but it is what it is. We got Nottingham Forest just seem to be just spiraling out of control.
Target them.
Right. Well, here we talk about target. Now, this is an interesting one. Brighton. What?
They can't win away from home, but they can win at home, and they've got Newcastle next, where they're going to win 2-1.
As long as
I'm calling
Voltmodder
it now.
and Gordon get a goal. Right, so Wolves score with an own goal from a goal. Did you see the goal?
I don't watch any football.
So
no, I didn't-
Manetzi's in. The ball falls at Manetzi. He strikes it. It's a beautiful volley, like half volley. Hits the crossbar, Steve-O. The keeper's diving for it. Hits the crossbar, and it's like when he's FIFA fluid goals. Hits the back of the goalie's like back, and then goes in. It's like a real it's like a real pain. Like it's a heartbreaking goal to concede for a goalie. Put it that way, because if it goes down as a Verbruggen own goal, Manetzi getting the assist, but certainly, it was just calamitous in terms of like drama. And then you have late on. I don't actually know what the minute it was. It was second half, I think. Van Hecker gets the equaliser in that to kind of spare the point for Brighton. So, I don't think for me, I'm looking at getting either Wolves or Brighton players in. I know Minter was high on the agenda for players, and you were on about getting Krejci in or Strand Larsen, but I'm not bothered. I'm not bothered.
Yeah, I've got a Wolves Krejci in for their fixtures, but really, he can be turned into a Crystal Palace defender if absolutely needs be. If absolutely needs be, he can be turned into a Crystal Palace defender, or even a Newcastle defender. But right now, I'm just playing it for the fixtures at the moment, and I'm happy to see that Wolves have now got some. What is it? Fulham, Burnley, and Sunderland in the next 3, something like that.
I don't know.
They just need to start scoring goals. That's the problem.
Wolves have got. They've got West Ham away. No, they haven't. No, they haven't. What's going on here? Why is that? Planner. Here we go. Planner.
I wish I never asked that question.
Here we go. Let's look at ages.
Like
so they've got Sunderland in game week 8 away, Burnley at home, and Fulham away.
Yeah, they're good fixtures, and they're going to be very, very low scoring games. They just need someone that can put the ball in the back of the net, like Strand Larsen, but he's struggling with injury. So,
okay, we go to the last game, which is Brentford Manchester City. I was listening into the game whilst doing other bits and pieces in the house, and I had it on in the background. I remember the commentator, because Haaland scored early on, and after that, just the commentator was going, it's like a training game for Man City. Brentford were doing nothing the whole game, and Man City were just cruising around.
Well, there was a moment where Thiago, I felt sorry for the guy because he was put through and the ball bounced at the wrong time. It came off his knee. It's still moving forward, and it just allowed Donnarumma just to kind of sort himself out. And other than that, honestly, Jace, watching Man City, I mean, I don't know what the possession was in the end of the game. I'm guessing it was about 70%. It's got to have been, but they were just camped in Brentford's half. And there was a moment where 3 of the players, including Foden, did like triangle passes.
Foden had a few chances, didn't he?
Yeah, he just stood there staring. The Brentford players just stood there staring because they daren't tackle them. And the game, honestly, I don't know why the fuck I stayed in to watch that. Mainly for Foden, because that's what FPL does to us. And certainly from my standpoint, I was gutted that Foden didn't take that really easy opportunity completely on his own. And he should have buried that. He at least have got the ball on target. At least that's a bare minimum. And for a player of Foden's quality to pull it wide, just not good enough.
70%, Steve-O, 70% ball possession.
It doesn't surprise me. I'm surprised it's not higher, to be honest with you, because it was a training game. It was a training game. And it's just such a shame that, unlike, we say, with Slot, who wants to really get as many goals as possible, or even Thomas Frank, when Tottenham were playing Wolves the other day, if Man City were playing like that, they'd have scored like 4 or 5 against Brentford, but they don't. And it's just, I know they just are all about possession-based football. I get it, but Christ Almighty, at least try and attempt to be more aggressive in front of that goal line. But I agree with you. I just don't think they've got enough about them up top. The likes of Oscar, Bob, not Doku, Savino. They're not good enough. They're not good enough. I mean, they're good players, obviously, but they're not good enough to be providing Haaland, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, City of old have always had what I've perceived to have been strength and depth off the bench. That, you know, you look at the bench, sometimes you think goals, goals, goals. I think the days of the bench having goals, goals, goals for Man City are gone.
Well, they lost Rodri today.
They did lose Rodri. I think that's a massive loss for them. Hopefully he's not out for too long, but certainly if you're a City fan, you'll be worried about that. But yeah, like I said earlier on, without Haaland, do you think Man City is scoring many goals? Because at the moment they're struggling. So that kind of ends the kind of sum up over the weekend of the fixtures. Obviously, we now have to wait until the blooming 18th, Saturday the 18th. So 2 weeks to the next game week, where we have we have your wildcard to look forward to, and certainly I've got a bench boost to play. So it'll be my bench boost versus your wildcard. And when are you thinking of bench boosting, Steve-O? Have you decided that? Or?
I could do it in game week 9, but the problem is that there's too many 1v1s. So for argument's sake, West Ham versus Wolves or whatever it is, Burnley versus Leeds. I can't remember what it is now, but that's my dilemma with game week 9. So I don't think I'll be doing that.
So the people that may criticise you, Steve-O, for advocating Wolves assets on 1 week, i.e. a week ago, you were thinking Wolves or, bringing in Strand Larsen, to now thinking, nah, I think I own Krejci. I'm not going to be looking at anyone else. Do you think that you're too quick to flip your opinion, or do you think actually...
No, I'd still think that if you want to bring in someone like you, there's more information, isn't it? I didn't realise that Strand Larsen was struggling with injury. I didn't know that. But now I know that, then there's no one to bring in. So unless you want like a defender, Krejci, keep using his name, it's all right. But it's just money, isn't it? What is he, 4.5? 4.5?
Yes, 4.5, yes.
Yeah, so, whatever. If I have him, I have him. If I don't, I don't. It's not like I'm playing him every single week. So.
Okay, so to finally just to ask you about your wildcard, out of the 15 players on your wildcard, how many are you almost certainly locked in with? Can you give me an answer on that?
2 goalkeepers. I think it's like 10 players. I think it's something like that. 10 players.
Okay, and many of which you've mentioned already tonight.
Yeah.
Okay, well that's great. I think we'll leave it there. We've got we'll do a preview closer to the game week 8. Keep an eye out on our socials. We look forward to hearing from you guys on there, and our Discord as well. Jump into the Discord, discord.gg/elite-FPL. And yeah, I'll bid you farewell. Play a song. We'll play out a song on this one.
I was going to say, vote for us in the FCAs. If you
God. I forgot about that. Yeah, vote for us in the Football Content Awards.
What is
the Football Content Awards, Steve-O?
Literally the Football Content Awards. You just go. If you want to vote for us in the best fantasy football category, you just click on the link. It's literally there in the description. Scroll down and click on the FPL, and away you go. It'd be great to just stick a middle finger up to the big content creators and win. Whether it's us, Andrew, or Gary.
We want to stick up a middle finger to the content creators that the cartel, as some people some people refer to them for some weird reason. But yeah, I mean, the thing is, we've got some passionate community members, and I think we've got a lot of people that have already voted. So thank you for everyone that's voted. And if you haven't yet, please consider doing so. Kind of be funny to go there and go up and pick up an award where you got these squeaky clean content creators that do everything right, and then you got us that are ragtag renegades that sit in the backwater of FPL YouTube. Right, I'm rambling on. Steve-O, let's play music and let's get out of here.
What are you playing? What's the song?
That's a good question, actually. What song is this one on? Still the same. Will You Be the Same is the name of the song.
Okay, there we are.
Here we go. This is Will You Be the Same. Playing you out. Take care. Wave, Steve-O.